All right, how's everyone doing? I am Rich CELENZA. Thanks for checking out the Rich CELENZA show. So what I'm going to call this podcast is I just keep doing what I want to do. And the reason I bring this up is because a lot of times I run into people and, they ask me how I do a lot of things that I'm doing. Or they've heard of me doing certain things, or I have friends or family members or other people I know that reach out to me, or even when I meet them and I don't know them, they kind of know who I am. And a lot of the discussions that come up is, man, how'd you do this? Or how did you get that done? One of my buddies used to say, hey, Rich, you're a guy who likes to move mountains. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't even go outside. Like I say it as a joke. But for younger people, I think, because I'm working with a lot of younger people lately, is they want to know how you get done what you want to get done. And back to, I just always kept doing what I wanted to do. And I didn't let anything get in the way of that. Now, I think what a lot of people have to understand is you have to get creative. You have to just keep moving forward, I like to say. But if you find what you like to do, and I know we hear about this with work. Let me put it this way. I always hear a lot of times, find what you love to do and it's not work as far as your career. That's cool too. But that's not realistic for a lot of people. A lot of people have shitty, horrific jobs. Let's call it for what it is. And, they have to work and do certain things to make money to hopefully take that money and go do things that they like to do. Or we've been kind of programmed that way, I guess, to a certain degree, right? Do what you don't want to do so you make the money to go do what you want to do. All right, that's kind of whack, but it is what it is, like I just said. But regardless what I was doing, good job, bad job, not working, I just kept doing what I wanted to do. And I'm kind of the type of person who can be very easily distracted. I'm not going to lie about that. I don't care what it is. It could be on social media or just going out for dinners and doing certain things, right? I kind of have that side of me. Not always being focused on one end. I guess you could say publicly. But then what people don't know about me privately is all I'm doing is zoning in and doing what I wanted to do and get accomplished what I want to get accomplished. But what I learned in the last 12, 15 years is I kind of went more or less solo, if that makes sense. Reason being is I realized, like, say, making a film, how many components came to that, how many people I truly needed. I don't care if it was actors, I'm not even going to get into it. There's so many different things I have to do that. All right. After doing that, I realized when writing my first book, oh my God, I can be in total control of this, do it whenever I want, however I want. Big difference. I'm going to say one thing that I think a lot of people have to understand, that is, if you want to do a lot of things and you love doing them, really balance out how many different things you need to get that accomplished, including how many people, also how much money is it going to take. Because I've kind of gotten to the point where, yes, I spend a lot of money on a lot of my stuff. If I'm writing a book, obviously I have an editor, right? But that's my only expense. And then if you want to, spend money on other things. But for the most part, I'm in total control and it doesn't cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars to do. If I'm creating a program like I created, if I'm creating a podcast, again, even if I'm creating a YouTube, you can spend, a small amount of money or you can spend a substantial amount of money. It's on you. But again, it depends on what you do. But if you put all that aside, back to me always wanting to do what I wanted to do, I figured out a way to do that. Now, again, if I was somebody, say I like construction, I don't know how to do that. For one, I look at that and I'm entirely overwhelmed at the moment. Like, I'm just thinking about, oh my God, just thinking about, my stepfather was an architect and he used to draw up all these things, which was kind of cool. And then he would build them, homes. And I'd go with him on the sites, pick out the property sometimes, or look at the properties. Then I would even help him sometimes on weekends build these homes. It was so overwhelming. I mean, just to deal with all the different components of it, materials, hiring the right people, the whole thing. It was just insane. So if I was that type of person and somebody, I wouldn't know how to, I shouldn't say that. I am not that type of person, but if I was that type of person, that would be something I'd really, how do I say this without screwing it up? sometimes, when you're talking in these podcasts, you don't want to always say the wrong thing, but you get a little tongue-tied. Let's just put it this way. I have done things where, again, I have been in basically all control. And I can create what I create, and then other people can come help me edit it or critique it, but I'm still in total control. And it looks sometimes big, I think, to a lot of people, when in reality it's small. That doesn't mean it doesn't take a lot of time to create and a lot of effort, because if you consider writing a book compared to a guy who builds a building, to me, but somebody may look at a book and go, that's amazing, and then I'm not looking at it as that being that amazing, but I'm looking at a guy who builds a building and I'm totally blown away. But what I'm really trying to say, I guess, overall in this podcast is keep doing what you want to do. And you got to become creative. A lot of times you're probably not going to have enough time maybe to always do what you want to do. You've got to figure out a way to, how to balance your time correctly. Also with finances, a lot of times you may not have the money to do what you want to do. I'm just telling you right now. You're going to have to get creative and understand, if you want to do something worth millions, I'm not telling you not to. Go after it. Keep doing whatever you want to do. But in the meantime, too, and I'm not telling you to get distracted, you may want to do something for maybe hundreds of thousands. Sometimes you get caught when you're a creator and saying, I got to go big time. This is how I want it, and this is how I envision it. But a lot of people never seem to accomplish it. And they never seem to I'm not saying downsize, but maybe minimize something, so maybe you can kind of get your feet wet and kind of get momentum or kind of get things going. That was kind of, I'll wrap it up with this. I remember when I was making a film, and people were like, oh, you got to make full feature films. And that was a real hot thing. If you're a filmmaker, you had to make a full feature film to be credible. And if you did short films, you weren't as credible, which is ridiculous. But then as the internet kind of got, more and more active, I guess you could say, and things, people were making short films. And then I heard two sides of it always. Like, if I'm going to invest all this money in a short film, I'll never get my money out of it, unless maybe you go to you win an Oscar or you win some type of Emmy or something like that. But still, it was really hard to get your money back making a short. But if you make a full feature, you can make money through distribution and blah, blah, blah. Both of them are very hard, I'm telling you, to really make money at. But here's the thing. If you don't have the resources, money, or time to maybe make a full feature film, maybe make your short film. And maybe dabble into it and see how it comes out. You kind of learn how, what to do and not do, especially financially, and kind of figure out maybe this is or isn't for you. I was crazy. I was balls to the wall. I just wanted to do feature films. That was my thing. But what I'm trying to say out of these two things is maybe you want to create something. It could be a website for a business or whatever. Maybe just start on Facebook. I'm just saying, right? You may want to do, I originally was thinking about doing a radio show before even podcasts were really out. And then that was kind of overwhelming a little bit. I'm like, oh my God, I got to have a show and it's got to always be live. And I had to go online, and then you got to either pitch your concept to maybe a show, and you'd either have to pay maybe to have your show live or do it through a website. It was overwhelming back then. Even the technology to do my own show was overwhelming, where now let's fast forward 15 years later, the podcast concept comes out. It's very reasonable financially for me to invest in it. I can do it whenever I want. It doesn't have to be live. I can showcase it on many different platforms now, where before I didn't have that opportunity. So anyways, I'm not saying this to say all the shit I've accomplished, just so we're clear. It's not what I'm saying. But I'm just, regardless of what you want to do in your life, I don't care what it is. Okay? Just keep doing it. If you like it, do it. A lot of people, you got to understand, you're probably not going to always make money, especially at the beginning, doing what you want to do. Also, understand, you just doing what you want to do a lot of times and not holding yourself back or giving yourself an excuse why you shouldn't be doing it, or always having what I call kind of guilt. What's the word I'm trying to think? I use a different type term and I can't think of it now. But, a lot of people feel like if they take time out to do a lot of things that they want to do, they're being selfish. It could be maybe you're in a relationship, you feel like you're taking time away from the relationship. If you have kids, you feel like you're taking time away from them. But if you're not doing what you want to do in your life, what in the hell are you living for? Again, I'm not saying you have to always, for 16 hours a day be doing what you want to do, and creating all, unless you want to. Do whatever the hell you want to do. I'm not saying also to put yourself in a financial situation where all you do is, if you like surfing and all you do is surf, right? I get it. Then you kind of go broke and before you know it, you're homeless. I'm not telling you that. But if you do like to surf, you can find time to surf probably a lot more than you are. And complaining about never being able to surf or not kind of figuring out a way how to go surf, that's kind of on you. But life is really, I believe, I will say at the end of this, is doing what you want to do. And I think a lot of us were programmed, especially when we're younger, that you have to do all these things before you can do what you want to do. So it could be schooling, it could be work, it could be relationship driven, it could be being a parent. All this shit you got to do before you can do this. I'm like, forget that shit. You can enjoy your life and do the things you want to do. And you know what? And my kids talk about it, and a lot of people I run into. I do things, and my friends say this too, I do things because honestly, other people, or it shows other people that they can do things too. And you don't always have to be restricted for some reason or another. Just enjoy your life. If you want to go out tonight, which I may do with my buddies, they just hit me up to go have cigars. I could probably come up with 10 excuses why I shouldn't go or I couldn't go or all the bullshit. The reality is I can go. And if I want to do that, I should go be able to enjoy doing that. And the same with you with your life. Go enjoy it. The ride isn't as long as you think. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm in my 50s, and they always goof around and say you close your eye in a blink of an eye before you know it. You're 30, and then you're 40, then you're 50. It's truthful. I'm telling you, enjoy your life. And go do things that you want to do, that you love to do, and do it with the people you love to do it with. All right, take care, and if you have any questions or comments, hit me up, and yeah, that's all I got for you.